Welcome to another episode of Football Ancestry. We will be taking a look at the success of the wide receiver position for the Cincinnati Bengals. We start with Carl Pickens, who played for the Bengals from 1992 to 1999, after being selected in the second round of the NFL Draft. If I told you that Pickens won Offensive Rookie of the Year that year in 1992, as he did, you would assume he put up some good numbers. However, I guess the bar was pretty low for rookies in 1992, because with only 326 yards and one receiving touchdown on the season, Pickens was awarded Rookie of the Year. Where the argument could be made was his punt return stats his rookie year, where he averaged 12.7 yards per return, with a long of 95 yards, which he did return for a touchdown. So I'm sure that helped him out to win the award. Pickens continued to grow in his sophomore campaign, doubling his receptions, but it wasn't until year 3 that he took over as a dominant receiver. He caught 11 touchdowns and broke 1,000 yards for the first time. This would start what would become a 3-year streak surpassing 1,000 yards, which could have been 5 years straight if not for an injury shortening his 1997 season. 1995 and 1996 were the two best years of his career. In 1995, he caught a Bengals franchise record 99 receptions for 1,234 yards and a league-leading 17 touchdowns. He followed that up the following season by breaking his own Bengals receptions record with 100 catches in 1996, resulting in 1,180 yards and 12 touchdowns. As mentioned previously, Pickens would miss 4 games in 1997, limiting him to only 695 yards, but he would cross the 1,000-yard mark again in 1998. His final season with the Bengals would come in 1999 at age 29. He would spend one last season on the active roster with the Titans in 2000 before retiring from the NFL. In his career, Pickens put up 7,129 receiving yards and 63 touchdowns. Along with his Offensive Rookie of the Year award in 1992, Pickens would also be recognized with 2 Pro Bowls for his dominant 1995 and 1996 seasons. His 6,887 receiving yards accumulated as a member of the Bengals would be the all-time franchise record. That is, until the next name on our list joined the team. 2 years after Pickens departed from Cincinnati, the Bengals selected receiver Chad Johnson, later known as Chad Ochocinco, in the second round of the 2001 NFL Draft. Johnson put up very modest numbers in his rookie year, although Johnson wasn't awarded Rookie of the Year for his 300-yard season like Pickens. However, in just his second year, Johnson put up his first 1,000-yard season, and he would continue to do so for the next 5 straight seasons, crossing the 1,000-yard mark 7 times total in his career. His most dominant stretch came between 2003 and 2007. In 2003, Johnson set the Bengals' franchise record for receiving yards with 1,355 yards to go along with 10 touchdowns on 90 receptions. He caught 97 passes for 1,432 yards and 9 touchdowns in 2005, followed by 87 receptions, 7 touchdowns, and a league-leading 1,369 yards in 2006, and then ending this 5-year period with a 93-catch, 1,440-yard, and 8-touchdown performance in 2007. After a not-so-great season in 2008, Johnson would put up 2 more solid seasons statistically before his time with the Bengals would come to an end, as he was traded to the New England Patriots in 2011 at 33 years old. That would be his final season playing in the NFL. In his career, Chad Johnson put up 11,059 yards and 67 touchdowns receiving. He would earn first-team All-Pro honors twice in his career and 6 Pro Bowls, including 5 straight from 2003 to 2007. He finished his time with the Bengals as the franchise all-time leader in receiving yards, receptions, and receiving touchdowns. Chad Johnson ended his career as the greatest receiver in Bengals history, although it wouldn't take long for a player to step in and fill his shoes. With the 4th overall pick in the 2011 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals selected receiver AJ Green. Unlike the last 2 names on this list, Green hit the ground running immediately his rookie year, breaking 1,000 yards and catching 7 touchdowns. For the record, that would not earn him Offensive Rookie of the Year, but it did earn him his first Pro Bowl invitation. Green would continue to surpass 1,000 yards receiving in a season for the next 4 straight years, before just missing the mark in an injury-shortened 2016 campaign. He would get over 1,000 yards receiving 6 times in his career. His most dominant stretch came between 2012 and 2013. He caught 97 passes for 1,350 yards and 11 touchdowns in 2012, and then another 98 receptions for 1,426 yards and 11 touchdowns in 2013. Unfortunately, injuries would plague the tail end of AJ Green's time with the Bengals. He would miss half of the 2018 season with a toe injury, and then missing all of 2019 with an ankle injury. AJ Green would return to the Bengals in 2020 for one last season, but he had clearly lost a step. He would enter free agency and sign with the Arizona Cardinals, where he would play for 2 more seasons before retiring following the 2022 season at age 34. For his career, AJ Green finished with 10,514 receiving yards and 70 touchdown catches. He would earn 7 consecutive Pro Bowls during his 11-year career. Green's 7 straight seasons as the Bengals' leading receiver would be the most in team history, and his 32 100-yard receiving games would also be a Bengals record. He would finish second all-time for the Bengals, behind only Chad Johnson in franchise receiving yards, touchdowns, and catches. It's safe to say Green earned his spot on this list, but who could be next to carry the torch of generational success at the Bengals wide receiver position? If I had to take my guess, receiver JaMarr Chase would be my best guess on who will carry the torch into the next generation. He was taken 5th overall by the Bengals in the 2021 NFL Draft and lit the NFL world on fire his rookie year. He dominated from the very beginning. In week 1 of his rookie season, he accomplished his first 100-yard receiving game and his first touchdown. And in week 7 of his rookie year, he achieved his first 200-yard receiving game against the Ravens. And if this wasn't enough, in week 17 of his rookie season, he finished with 266 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns in a game against the Chiefs. This would break the record for the most receiving yards in a game by a rookie in NFL history. And to put the cherry on top, Chase broke Chad Johnson's franchise record for most receiving yards in a single season, not just as a rookie, but a single season overall. So, to complete our Rookie of the Year saga, this performance was obviously good enough to earn Chase the Offensive Rookie of the Year award in 2021. Chase would end up missing 4 games with an injury in his second NFL season, but he was still able to lead the Bengals in both receptions and receiving yards that year, and in doing so broke the 1,000-yard mark for the second consecutive year. In his very short career so far, Chase has 2,501 receiving yards and 22 touchdowns. He's earned Pro Bowls in both of his years in the NFL, and has the previously mentioned Offensive Rookie of the Year award to his name already. The sky's the limit on how successful Chase's career could be when it's all said and done. I think it's an easy bet to say he will be the next great generational player at the Bengals wide receiver position. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. Now, very quickly before we end, I would like to give a list of a couple honorable mentions. Isaac Curtis played for the Bengals between 1973 and 1984 and currently sits as the Bengals' 3rd all-time leader in receiving yards and 4th in touchdowns. Secondly is Chris Collinsworth, who played with the Bengals between 1981 and 1988. He finished 5th for receiving yards in franchise history and 7th in touchdowns. Lastly, I do want to mention T. Higgins as a name to watch in terms of future potential. He has a steeper hill to climb than Chase's explosive start, but Higgins is no slouch himself, earning 900 yards receiving his rookie year and breaking 1,000 yards the next 2. It will be fun to watch his career unfold as well as Chase's. Alright, and with that being said, there is the list of generational talent at the Bengals wide receiver position. If you enjoyed this video, it would really help me out if you gave it a like and you shared it with others who you think might enjoy the video as well. If you would like to see more content like this and join our growing community of football nerds, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.